see they're dry. You see there's no marrow in the bone. You see they're scattered all over the valley. They ain't even full skeletons. I mean, the bones are scattered all over the valley. They're just bones. But answer me a question, Ezekiel. Can these bones live? Ezekiel answers the only way he knows how to answer. Lord, you know. Critical race theory was born out of critical legal theory. Am I teaching y'all something today? There emerged two common beliefs linking all critical race theories. First, white supremacy has subordinated black people and other people of color. That's just a fact. How in the world are you going to fight against that being taught in any school? White supremacy has subordinated black people and other people of color. That's a fact. Why don't you want that to be taught in school? You let your schools teach us that Columbus discovered America. That's a lie. You let your schools teach us that George Washington couldn't tell a lie. That's a lie. You let your schools teach us that some slave owners were beneficent and good slave owners. There were no good slave owners. Anybody who owned people was evil. That's a lie. You let your schools teach us that Abraham Lincoln was good for Negroes. No, Abraham Lincoln was trying to save the Union. And Abe Lincoln himself said if he could save the Union and keep black people in chains, he would do it. That's a lie. Come on, somebody. You let them teach us about a white Jesus. You let them teach us that Native Americans were the aggressors. Come on, somebody. That white folk had a manifest destiny and that the pilgrims were good at Native Americans. That's a lie. All day, every day, you let them teach us lies. All throughout my history in school, I was taught lies. But you got a problem with critical race theory because it teaches the truth that white supremacy has subordinated black people and people of color. The right to bear arms. Let me just back up a little bit and let me take you on back to the late 1960s when Ronald Reagan was the governor of California. And they were oppressing black folk, and a group of men and women known as the Black Panther Party decided that they were going to defend the rights of black folk. And the Black Panthers decided that the Second Amendment wasn't just for white folk. So they strapped themselves with guns and showed up at the Capitol in California. And when they saw them Negroes with guns, come on, somebody. That's why I say if you ever really want to get gun laws changed, just strap all these Negroes up. They'll change them laws before the week is over. When the Black Panthers, watch this, I want you to read, the California legislator passed what was called the Milford Act. It was a gun control act that decided who could get guns, who couldn't get guns, what could be in your background, what couldn't be in your background. It was the first time in history that the National Rifle Association, the NRA, supported restrictive gun legislation, all because black folk had the nerve to get strapped. Look at your neighbor and say, neighbor, go get strapped. Amen, somebody. Y'all gonna say Bishop told us to get strapped. I said it. Go get strapped. It just got real quiet up in here. But y'all already know I'm a triple P. Amen. Y'all know what a triple P is, right? A pistol packing preacher. Amen, somebody. Thank you, Jesus. just because you made it to the palace. Bless the name of the Lord. But you've got a responsibility to help somebody else make it across. Thank you, Jesus. Don't pull up the ladder because you climbed to the top. Don't blow up the bridge because you made your way across. Thank you, Jesus. But reach your hand back down the ladder and pull somebody else up out of the bar. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Jesus. Gotta tell themselves it's all right if you got it now, just hold it for me. I'll be there to get it after a while. Oh, bless the name of the Lord. Thank you, Jesus. You got to make up in your mind that what God has for me, it is for me. I might not have it right now, may not get it next week, because you might try to stop me from getting it. But if God said it's mine, I want you to know after a while, I'm going to get what belongs to me. Sometimes God got to strip what you got to, so you don't depend on yourself. Take away from you, so you understand how to depend on else that God. Come on in here. Thank you, Jesus. Our young people are dying. Cracked out. Suicide. Homicide. They'll kill you at the drop of a dime. Our jails are full. Yet the crime still runs rampant. 90.7 WTCC. Good morning, good morning, good morning, everybody in the Pioneer Valley, everybody in virtual land, everybody on Instagram, everybody on Facebook and YouTube and Twitter and wherever you are on this Labor Day. Okay. Welcomes. I know probably a lot of our audience is sleeping late or something because it's Labor Day or traveling or doing something, but I'm on the air anyway. I'm still here. Holiday and everything, you know, is here. 413-337-1867. What's up? Derek, what's happening there on the gram? Listen, rep your city, rep your town. Those of you who are rocking with me on this morning, it'll just be a personal conversation between us that are up on Labor Day. And tomorrow in my state, tomorrow here in Massachusetts is primary election day. So be doing most of my conversations around that. So the title of this show is to vote or not to vote. That is the question. Get your opinion on it. We'll talk about it. Got a guest coming on, Senator Eric Lesser, at 1/2 past the hour on first Mondays as usual. But tomorrow is election day here in the city of Springfield, the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. We'll talk about some of the candidates that are running for elected office. And we'll take your telephone calls, 413-337-1867. Tell a friend, tell somebody. Bishop is on the air right now. All right, let's get it crunk. Don't touch that dial. Don't go nowhere. We'll be right back. Here's a little bit of Ferris Hill and Daddy talk, giving you some good information. Let's get it.
A positive attitude is everything about you. Attitude is a little thing that makes a big difference. Every day you get up, you could give it a gift. That's why the present. And it's up to you of how you unwrap it. Yesterday is history. Tomorrow's a mystery. Today is a gift. So don't let the pain of your past bleed into your present and poison your future. Stop replaying the movie. Why did this happen to me? When it's done with you, we've got with it. If it seems like you keep running into pitfalls, it's an indication that you're flying too low. So set your sights below higher. Remember, eagles fly by themselves. If you can see the invisible, you can do the impossible. Allow your challenges to be a stepping stone to propel you into new possibilities. So be discontent with your past accomplishment. You're only as great as your last success. So maintain your hunger and your passion. Remember this, within every seed there is a tree, and every tree there is a forest. Really what you were born into. So with the environment to prepare you for your ultimate purpose. It was not a setback, it was a setup. Your purpose and potential is bigger than your past, pain, or problem. Listen to your heart, don't let your mind go you. For the talk that he gave to you. Whatever you do is gonna come back to you. Successful people who do the things they hate to get the things they love. Much of life is about sacrifice. You gotta give up something to get something. Success is not about what you've accomplished, but it's what you have overcome. For it's the test that you pass in life which qualifies you for the next level. You have to be willing to face your challenges and overcome them. Most people drive 12,000 miles a year moving forward, but most accidents are caused when they move back. You gotta stay focused on what's ahead of you instead of what's behind you. It's your daily routine that determines your success or failure. Whatever you practice is what you become great at. What's more important than being intelligent is having the right attitude. Respect costs you nothing, they will cost you everything. Not to have it. So don't be too smart for your own good. Remember, a hard head and soft mind. What's more important than your five senses is common sense. The heart of a fool is in his mouth, but the heart of a wise man is in his character. So don't sweat the small things. The end for short temper is a long walk. It's so to speak. Quick to listen and remember this. You only live long enough to know everything. Your character is what matters most. Once you have been labeled with a bad reputation, it's hard for people to see you any other way. A good name is worth more than all the money in the world. Life is broken up into three parts. First you learn, then you earn, and then you return and give back.
90.7 WTCC. Let's get it crunk. I like what I see. This is Talbert Swan. Tell somebody Bishop is on the air. We're about to talk about it, to vote or not to vote. All right, let's go.
I look in the mirror and I like what I see. A strong, beautiful black woman staring back at me. One who's seen a lot of pain and had her share of sorrow, but who never gave up hope for a brighter tomorrow. I've been lied to, cheated on, and stolen from and hit, but it just made me stronger and I refuse to quit. That's right. And though I've been tempted, I refuse to stoop to their level. I rose above that nonsense and made a liar of the devil. All right now. The devil who said I wasn't good enough, cute enough, or worthy of love, I kicked his butt with divine power from above. Power that says I can do all things through Christ, which strengthens me and brought me out of darkness so that I can see that I'm smart, I'm beautiful, I'm a child of the King. Abundant love for me, he came to bring. Oh yes, when I look in the mirror, I love what I see. She's looking good. That strong, beautiful black woman, that woman is me.
All right. Yes, 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 yes. 413-337-1867. 413-337-1867 is the number here. Coming up at 10 o'clock is Justice and Flow. Coming up at 9:30, we got Senator Eric Lesser. And coming up right now, we got this conversation with you all. To vote or not to vote, that is the question. It is here in Massachusetts. It is the primary election day. And there's a lot of conversation going on. You know, folks are very disappointed in the performance of Democrats in terms of their lack of responsiveness to Black voters who put them in office. And there are many who are advocating sitting out, at least of the national elections. I hold that all politics are local, and you ought to be voting for your local politicians who affect your quality of life at the grassroots level. Your district attorneys, your statewide offices, your mayors, your city councilors, your town councilors, your school board members, they affect the lives of you and your children right where you live. And that's real. And so tomorrow here in Massachusetts, folk will be going to the polls and we'll be voting for our statewide offices. They're up for grabs. Governor, lieutenant governor, state auditor, state treasurer, secretary of state, attorney general. All of those particular offices are. We've had conversations on our after show with several of these individuals. We've had Tanisha Sullivan, candidate for Secretary of State. We've had Chris Dempsey, candidate for auditor. We've had Andrea Campbell, candidate for Attorney General. We've had Ward 5 City Council candidate LeVar Click Bruce on our after show to talk about their campaigns and encourage individuals to come out and vote. So I want to get your opinion. Tell me who you're voting for. Tell me if you're voting, and then if you're voting, who you're voting for. Those of you in Massachusetts, you can chime in 413-337-1867, or you can put your response right there in the comments. Those of you who are not in Massachusetts, did you vote in your state primary? If you did, what drove your choices? And if you didn't, why didn't you vote? Would love to know what your answers are. Good morning. I see Mark from Summers, Connecticut on YouTube. What else? Who else we got in there? I see Houston, Texas is up in the building. Um, Rep your city, rep your town. Delaware is in here. Maryland is up in the building. Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, Chesapeake, Virginia, Chicago, Illinois. Good morning, baby girl. Whitney from Chicago is up in the building. So there's some folk. There's some folk on. Everybody ain't sleeping late because of the Labor Day weekend. We got another Maryland up in the building. So rep your city, rep your town. Let me know where you're coming in from. Where y'all at on the gram? Where y'all at? Where y'all at? Let me know. Let me know. Let me know. And did you vote? Some of you in Massachusetts may have already voted because we did have early voting. I see you, H-Town. I see you, Reverend Burgess, Springdale, Maryland. I see you, Mother Green, in the building. Some of you already voted. And if you did, how did you vote? Or if you didn't, why didn't you vote? And if you're not going to vote, tell me why you're not going to vote. I did a show at the beginning of the month talking about the Black community's breakup with Democrats. That all was not well between Black America and the Democrat Party. And the turnout in these midterm elections might very well be the rumblings of a breakup that might be long overdue. There's this growing contempt for an influential far left that talks a woke game. They talk a good game on diversity, and they appropriate our struggle in their ads and in their talking points, but often they offer our communities little beyond the feeling of inclusion. And so they've talked good stuff. They talked about abolishing ICE, defunding the police, and other social justice mainstays. But then when the winds turned and they saw that the majority community wasn't buying it, they flipped the script. Remember, Joe Biden came in, talking about police reform. And he came in talking about the daughter of George Floyd and the George Floyd Justice in Policing Act needing to be passed and all of that. 10 months later, he was talking about fund the police. Give them all the money that they need. With no accountability, no nothing. Matter of fact, let's put 100,000 new ones on the street. And the Democrats gave no pushback to that. So what's going on? I see you, Lyrical Faith. I'll check your text out, definitely. What's going on? So what they said was, the majority white community, they ain't feeling that defund the police stuff. And since they're not the ones being extrajudiciously murdered, they're not the ones who are being beat upside the head by the cops and stuff. We don't really want to, alienate those voters. So let's just stop all this talk. Let's talk about supporting the police and funding the police and giving the police all the money that they need, and the hell with getting rid of qualified immunity, and the heck with police reform and all that. So that's where we are right now. Every other day, just this past week, Biden was talking to the media, and he was speaking somewhere and talking about funding the police. Giving them all the resources that they absolutely need. Just give them all the money. Take the COVID money and get that to the police. Get a police everything. That's the game they're talking right now. And so the conversation in the black community is, where are the tangible results for the concerns of the people who put you in office? And if we continually come up short, why should we continue to vote for you? Why? Why? That's the question. And as much as I am a proponent of voting, I don't believe in not voting. But it's hard to debunk that argument. Because what people will come back and say to me is, I see you in North Carolina. Well, what do you want us to do? You want to vote for the Republican? And then I get accused of being just calling into question what the Democrats are and are not doing. Do you know how many times I got accused by black folks of being a paid Republican operative? Here's the thing. Y'all need to stop that foolishness. That is the weakest, laziest comeback and argument there is. That anytime somebody criticizes the Democrats, dismiss them by accusing them of getting paid by the Republicans. Because you know why that's lazy? Because you don't have to critically think about the issue that they're raising. Because you got no answer to it. And that's the real deal. The reality is, you have no answer as to why the president is talking about spending $13 billion on putting 100,000 new police on the streets with no accountability measures. You don't have a response to that. So your response is, oh, you're getting paid by the Republicans, because you can't answer it. Stop being lazy. Answer the question. Come up with a response to that. And you're scared to be critical. So you want to dismiss and try to break down the credibility of the messenger. When y'all know good and doggone well, I ain't paid by no daggone Republican. Because you don't know a preacher in America that went harder on Trump and the Republicans the 4 years he was in office. So just cut it out. You sound like a fool talking about you getting paid by the Republicans. No, you just don't have an answer for the apathy and the disrespect that Democrats give to black people. That's what your problem is. That's what the problem is. So let's just keep it a buck. Let's just be real with it. That's what the issue is. Now, if you want to engage on that conversation, let's have it. I'm willing to have it. Let's have it. But don't just dismiss anybody who credibly challenges or criticizes Democrats. Y'all talk about cinema and mansion. Well, you can't pass it because we don't have enough. Well, they were able to pass other stuff. They were able to pass a hate crimes bill for Asian Americans and Pacific Islanders. Just can't pass one for black folk. Some things you don't even have to do legislatively. Some things the president can do with a stroke of a pen. He signed an executive order protecting the LGBTQ community, but he can't sign one protecting the black community. Come on. They have sent over $66 billion to Ukraine and won't even talk about reparations for black Americans, the descendants of enslaved Africans. Come on now. These are real issues. These are real concerns. And don't just dismiss them because you hate the Republicans so much that you're willing to accept anything from the Democrats. We deserve better.
We deserve better. Now, ain't nobody spreading misinformation, pretty gal, on Instagram. Nobody's spreading See, here's the thing. If you guys are going to accuse me of spreading misinformation, prove it. Bring the receipt. Bring the receipts. Don't just put a little thing comment in there and throw it out there because you can't back it up. Name one thing I've lied about. See, that's your problem. You can't prove and you can't find the lie. So you accuse somebody of lying, but you can't back it up. But everything that I said that the Democrats did or did not do, I can prove. It's documented. It's out there. Did Asians get a hate crime bill? Yes. Did the LGBTQ community get a hate crime resolution? Yes. Have Ukrainians got over $60 billion? Yes. Is he proposing to put 100,000 new cops on the street at the cost of 13 billion taxpayer dollars without any accountability measures? Yes. Did the Democrats fail to pass the George Floyd Justice in Policing Act? Yes. Did they fail to pass the John Lewis Voting Act? Yes. Everything that I said is documented. It's factual. And you can't wave your magic wand because you're scared to criticize the Democrats and make that go away and make it not be true. So don't sit here, pretty gal, and say I'm spreading misinformation when everything that I said is factual. Now, if you're going to vote, go and vote for who you're going to vote for. And own it, love it, do it. But don't sit up here and say somebody's spreading misinformation. I don't spread misinformation. I spread truth. I speak truth to power. And truth don't change just because you don't like it. All right? 413-337-1867. If you are in the Twitter space, put your request in and we'll get you on the air. Here's the thing. You can agree with everything I'm saying and still decide I'm voting Democrat anyway. Because as bad as they've been, I still think Republicans are a worse alternative. And that's your right. But what you don't have the right to do is dismiss what I'm saying as lies when you know good and well it's the truth. You don't get to do that. You don't get to do that. Okay? Truth is truth. It don't change because you don't like it. Let's just keep it a buck. Keep it a buck. Okay, Lincoln. I see you on the ground. Lincoln said we did get Hip Hop History Month. Yeah, we did get that. We did get Hip Hop History Month. Good morning, Senator.
Good morning, Bishop Swan. How are you?
I'm wonderful. How you doing?
Good. Just one more day to Election Day.
One more day. One more. Tomorrow is that day. And we'll see who will emerge as the Democrat and Republican nominee. Let me ask a question. Okay, I'm not sure what that beeping is. Oh, I see. Let me ask a question. Is I'm assuming there's a primary on the Republican side as well.
There is, yes,
Okay.
for governor, lieutenant governor, and a couple other offices.
Yeah. Okay, I was speaking specifically of lieutenant governor. Okay. So you're on the campaign trail, working hard on your last day before you see if you got a job after tomorrow.
Absolutely, yeah, but feeling great.
How does that feel?
It feels great. I mean, people have gotten a great response. I was in Springfield yesterday. I was at Stone's Fall, of course. I also headed over to Salem yesterday and met with a group of people who are concerned about pricing, getting priced out of their neighborhoods and environmental issues there. I'm actually in Boston as we speak. I'm in Boston for the Boston Labor Breakfast with Vice President Kamala Harris speaking. So there's a lot of excitement, huge crowd here. We're getting a great response. Then I'm heading to Lawrence right after this for a big Labor Day march in Lawrence with the mayor there, Mayor DePena, who's a big supporter, and then ending my day back in Springfield. So whirlwind day, and tomorrow's another one. So just want to ask everybody for their vote, for their support. I love coming on the show. I love the work we've all done together. So we hope you can cast a ballot for me, Eric Lesser, for Lieutenant Governor tomorrow, Tuesday. Please make a plan to vote.
Absolutely. And let me just say, for the record, and this is me as an individual, I know a lot of people think that because I'm a pastor, I'm not allowed to endorse or support a candidate. I can as a private individual voter. This is not the Spring of Hope Church. This is Talbert Swan. And I want to let you know, as I have with other candidates, I am supporting, as an individual, I'm supporting Eric Lesser for Lieutenant Governor, and I would ask you all to strongly consider his candidacy and to vote for him on tomorrow. He has been responsive to our community. He's had an open door, and he has worked with us, throughout the years that he has been in the Senate. And I think he's the best candidate for the job. And I quite frankly, I believe that we need to have that type of representation in Western Massachusetts. To have one of the top offices in statewide government from Western Massachusetts, I think that goes a long way in terms of representing the region, and for us having access to someone that we know and that we've worked with. And so, of course, I wish you the best on tomorrow, and I encourage those of you that are voting to support him on tomorrow.
Well, thank you so much, Bishop. And again, I really appreciate your support. That means so much to me. And just want to thank everyone. And again, make a plan to vote tomorrow, Tuesday, September 6th. Vote early. Get it done with first thing in the morning. And I really appreciate the partnership. And I'm the only candidate, to your point about representation, Bishop, the only candidate for any office, governor, lieutenant governor, auditor, secretary of state, AG, lieutenant governor, from outside 495 or from Western Mass. So we need that representation. We need that voice. And I'm just grateful for your support.
Absolutely. I appreciate you, man, and wish you the best on this grueling path, because you got some miles to go if you're successful tomorrow.
Absolutely. Well, don't worry. I'm going to loyally call in the first Monday of the month, no matter what. So you'll always have me.
Right. Absolutely. Appreciate you so much. Tell them how they can get in touch with you in your state senate office, because you're still the state senator at least to the end of the year.
Absolutely. If people have questions, about the state or state senate, they can give us a call, 413-526-6501. Again, 413-526-6501. They can check us out at senatorlesser.com. They can email me at eric.lesser@masenate.gov. We're also on Twitter at Eric Lesser. We're on Facebook at Eric Lesser MA, and on Instagram at Eric Lesser. So lots of ways to get a hold of me.
Absolutely. All right. Appreciate you, Senator. The best to you.
Thank you, Bishop. Talk soon. Thanks for the support.
All right. Take care. 413-337-1867. I know some of you were trying to get in there, and I know there are a number of candidates I've opened up the opportunity to call in today. Don't know who will call in and who won't call in because they're all on the campaign trail doing their last minute thing because tomorrow is the day that many of them find out whether or not they continue on to November to the general election. So the question is to vote or not to vote. Let me get some folks up in the Twitter space. Untouchable J, you're in the building. Untouchable J, you're in the building. You have to unmute your microphone.
Yes, sir. Good morning, Bishop. Thank you again for the space. Very important topic.
Yes, sir.
I am personally voting from now on. I vote locally. I am on the fence about going on a presidential level again because the presidents have continued to do nothing, little to nothing to black people continuously. Especially for black people, not black and brown, not black and LGBTQ, not black and other groups. Black people been given promises and never kept. So locally it's important because, there are things that affect my family and my community. But presidents have done nothing. Like you said, what President Biden has done, he thought he was going to start showing police violence when he was running, and now it's a whole bunch of money. So, and one last thing I'll land my plane, we need to start considering what other countries do when a prime minister or president doesn't do what they said. They get a little gully. And, the presidential candidates and the parties know as long as black people especially ain't going to do nothing, they'll make all the promises in the world right before they're about to be elected in. So I'll land my plane there, Bishop. Thank you. Have a good day.
All right. Appreciate you. All right. 413-337-1867. GKM, you're in the Twitter space. Holla at your boy. Unmute your microphone. Good morning to you. Good morning to you. All right. Going once. Going twice. All right. 413-337-1867. If you're in the Twitter space, put in your requests. I need to make a couple announcements of some things that are going on in the community. This is a busy week for us at Spring of Hope Church, and there's a lot of stuff happening. But first, let me put a pin here and tell those of you who are in the 413, I need for you to support the NAACP Freedom Fund banquet and symposium. It's going to be hybrid this year. We will be having an in-person banquet to a limited amount of people. So if you want to be in the building, there's only a certain number of tickets, and the rest will be done virtually. There's a cost for virtual tickets. There's a cost for in-person tickets. But listen, you can go to bit.ly. Let me blow this up for those of you who are actually on the internet so you can see it. Those who are on the radio, it's bit.ly /104 Freedom Fund. No .com on the end. All right. That'll just take you to a site that you don't recognize. bit.ly /104 Freedom Fund. You go right there, and you can get your in-person tickets. You can get your virtual tickets. Our guest speaker for this year's Freedom Fund is the Bishop Vashti McKenzie. She is one of the bishops in the AME Church. Matter of fact, she's a history maker in that she is the first woman bishop in the history of the 200-year-old AME Church, the oldest African American denomination in America. And she's going to be our keynote speaker. I'm so excited about it. So get your tickets, save the date, put that in there. Get ready for Freedom Fund. All right, get ready for Freedom Fund 2022. It's going to be off the chain, for real, for real. I'm serious. Y'all don't want to miss our Freedom Fund this year. Now, there are a couple other things that are happening. We have starting this week, starting tomorrow, matter of fact, tomorrow, it soon will be tomorrow and be our day. I don't even remember where I got that jingle from. It's one of those kid things, you know how things like just stick with you even into adulthood. Anyway, but tomorrow starts our annual Holy Convocation at the Spring of Hope Church. And it will go from Tuesday through Friday, and then something special on Saturday I'm going to announce as well. But Tuesday through Friday, got some great stuff happening. Tomorrow, our guest speaker is Willie Moy, Elder Willie Moy, Pastor Willie Moy, our administrative assistant from Holy Tabernacle Church in Bridgeport, Connecticut. That'll be at 7 p.m. tomorrow. Then on Wednesday, we start at 12 noon with a virtual empowerment workshop. Our virtual empowerment workshops will be on Wednesday and Thursday at lunchtime at 12 noon. So we've got on Wednesday, we've got the Bishop David Daniels, who is a Springfield native. Now, for those of you in Springfield, he and I grew up in the same church, Holy Temple Church of God in Christ. But he's a tenured professor at McCormick Theological Seminary. And he is going to be teaching a lesson on the call to radical holiness, the call to radical holiness at 12 noon. And then Wednesday evening, Dr. Ruby Holland, pastor of Accomplishing Word Ministries Church of God in Christ in Memphis, Tennessee, will be our guest speaker on Wednesday evening at 7 o'clock p.m. Then on Thursday at noontime, our empowerment workshop will be done virtually by the Bishop Ulysses Henderson, who is a lawyer and a pastor and a bishop in the Los Angeles area. And he will be teaching on doing ministry with integrity. Our workshop presenters are top notch, just so you all know. I reached out and got some top notch people in our denomination, but they transcend our denomination as well. So you want to be a part of that. And then on Thursday evening, it's Women's Day. So we have a two-tiered service at 6 p.m. Our jurisdictional supervisor of the women's department, Mother Valerie Fields, will be addressing us. And then at 7:30, Pastor Jacqueline Powell, pastor of the Latter Rain Ministries Church of God in Christ in Hartford, Connecticut, will be our guest speaker on Thursday evening. Then on Friday at 7 o'clock p.m. will be the official night, the closing of our services. And yours truly, I will give my annual address to the convocation. And so I definitely would appreciate your support on Friday night, but really all week, whenever you have the opportunity to come by. And then on Saturday is Hope Fest 2022. Hope Fest 2022 from 1 to 4 p.m. right there in the field and the lot of the church. We got so much that's going to be going on. We've got musical extravaganza. We got entertainment, music, spoken word, dance, gospel, hip hop, you name it. We've got a live DJ. We've got all kinds of vendors, food vendors, other types of vendors, vax clinics, speakers, politicians, and the highlight is I get down in my swimming trunks and I put on my wet shoes and sit in the dunk tank. And you get to purchase balls and try to dunk the bishop. This is all happening on Saturday from 1 to 4, the climax of our week of Holy Convocation, workshops, and services. So be our guest on this week. Good stuff is happening at the Spring of Hope Church of God in Christ. And I'd like for you to be a part of it. All right. So we got Freedom Fund happening. We've got Convocation happening. We've got Hope Fest happening. Yes, Mother Green, dunk the bishop. Okay, dunk the bishop. Get an opportunity to dunk the bishop. So all of that is happening on this week. So hey, let's make it happen. All right, 413-337-1867 to vote or not to vote. As I stated, you all need to be concerned with your local elections, those that hit you at your quality of life issues, right where you live, work, and breathe. That affects your children, all of that. It's important that you have a voice in who sits on your school committee, who determines the curriculum that your children are going to be taught, who is the district attorney who's prosecuting people in your area, who's the mayor, who are the city councilors, who's the attorney general, who is the state auditor, who is on the governor's council. Absolutely, Mark Dorsey, paroles and commutations. Those who have a voice in determining that on the governor's council. In some municipalities, for those of you who are outside of Massachusetts, some of your judges are elected. So there's a whole lot at stake when it comes to elections. It's not just the national elections. It's not just about the president and vice president and senators, et cetera, et cetera. But as I stated, and you all, we've got to be honest about some things. As I stated, Pretty Gal on Instagram said I was spreading misinformation. No, she just didn't like the facts. The facts of the matter are clear. The current administration in the White House has said, we're not talking about reparations. Just don't bring it up. We ain't dealing with no reparations. But we're sending $60 billion to Ukraine. I mean, just think about it. The money that's gone to Ukraine, they literally spent billions of dollars to resettle Afghan refugees. After they pulled the troops out of Afghanistan, after hanging out there for 20 years, pulled the troops out, and immediately the Taliban took over. I mean, the Taliban was just chilling in the cut, like, yeah, we're just gonna wait. We're gonna wait till America leaves. They ain't gonna be here forever. And as soon as they left, Taliban took over, and Afghans started running. And Biden's administration said, come on over here to America. Come to America. We'll spend billions of dollars to resettle Afghan refugees while simultaneously spending millions of dollars to deport Haitian refugees. These are the things y'all don't like. It don't change the facts, though. That while they were literally spending billions to resettle Afghan refugees, they deported more Haitians in the first year of this administration. They deported more Haitians than Donald Trump, Barack Obama, George W. Bush, Bill Clinton combined. George W. Bush spent 8 years in office. Clinton spent 8 years in office. That's 16. Obama spent 8 years in office. You do the math. That's 20. Trump spent 4 years in office. 24. They deported more Haitians in 1 year than the previous 24 years combined. And they used a racist policy promulgated by the Trump administration that used COVID-19 as an excuse in the name of protecting America from the potential of catching COVID from these foreigners that are coming over. We're going to deport them back to their country. But I guess none of the Afghans could have had COVID. They couldn't have put any Americans in danger of COVID. We'll spend billions to resettle them. But we got to get rid of these Haitians because they might give us COVID. This is what the administration did. Now, y'all can look it up. You don't have to like that they did it, but don't tell me I'm lying about it when it's the truth. That's the fact. It's the fact. The truth is, white liberals have, for the last 30 years, used Black American civil rights wins to advance their own agendas. Okay? And they have implemented destructive criminal justice laws and incomplete education paradigms. They've conflated discrimination based on sexual orientation and gender with the horror of anti-Black racism, as if they were one and the same. This is what your liberal Democrats have done. Now, you can't shy away from the record, and you can't say that Black folk don't have a legitimate reason to be frustrated with the party that they have given 95% of their votes to. They have every right. So don't just dismiss people and accuse them of getting paid by Republicans because they bring up legitimate concerns. It is what it is. Once again, those in the Pioneer Valley, tomorrow's primary election day. All right? Statewide offices wide open. We are going to have a new governor. We are going to have a new attorney general. Those are guaranteed. We are going to have a new lieutenant governor. That's guaranteed. Those offices are up for grabs. Going to have a new attorney general. We may have a new secretary of state if Tanisha Sullivan is successful. She beat Galvin for the nomination. Let's hope she beats him in this primary so she could advance to the general election in November. Get out there. If you haven't already early voted, get out there tomorrow and vote. All right? In Massachusetts, let's go. Do what we need to do. And also remember all that we got going on here in terms of our events here in the Pioneer Valley. Love to see you all at Hope Fest. I'm sure we'll talk a little bit more about Hope Fest in the after show. My wife will come on, and I'm not sure if they still got vendor room or not. They may, but I'll let her tell you about that. So if you're interested in participating in Hope Fest, we'll give you whatever details you need to have coming up at the 10 o'clock hour on Justice and Flow. Okay. I hope you all are enjoying your weekend. You know, being able to get the day off, if nothing else. Somebody said the borders are open now. Um, um, Hope you all are enjoying the long weekend. Um, Good morning to everyone. I see you, my brother Ted Wynn, in the Twitter space. Good brother there. Y'all follow the Ted Wynn, award-winning songwriter, artist, um, publishing administrator. He and I vibe back and forth with each other, and the man can sing too. So y'all check him out. Um, um, I see you, Wayne Dredge, a social justice advocate as well, up in the Twitter space. Good morning to you. Good morning to all of you all who are vibing with us on this morning. We're going to transition over to Justice and Flow momentarily and off the air. So those of you who are on WTCC, who are listening over the radio and you want to continue to vibe with us for the next hour on Justice and Flow, all you got to do once we sign off is jump on social media, jump on Facebook, YouTube, and you can continue to rock with us as we continue to talk about the issues of the day, the events that are coming up, and all of that kind of stuff. If you're looking for a place to worship and you're in the 413, check us out at the Spring of Hope Church of God in Christ, 35 Alden Street, Springfield, Massachusetts, 11 o'clock on Sunday morning. Prayer, praise, and preaching. Inspiration, empowerment. We're building better tomorrows by changing lives today. You are welcome to join us. We would love to see you there. I'm out of here on the spoken word for those in the 413, rolling over to Justice and Flow. So until the next time I talk to y'all and y'all talk to me, remember, God loves you, and so do I. We'll be back for our internet audience momentarily. All right.
Good morning, Mother.
Back, like Public Enemy says. Good morning, good morning, good morning.
Good morning, family. Good morning, family.
What's happening, what's happening?
I'm revved up. I'm revved up. I'm revved up.
So, I got a problem.
Wait a minute. I'm revved up. I'm revved up.
I got a problem. I got a problem. I need to register my beef. So, Monday mornings, before I come down to the man cave, to start the radio show,
We can't hear you.
I usually get me a bowl of cereal. Um, but there was no almond milk today. Why you didn't get none when you went grocery shopping? And then
I'm a little behind on the grocery store.
so I didn't get my cereal because I didn't have no almond milk. And then there was no honey for my tea.
It's plenty of honey.
Well, where is it? Where you hide it at? Because you be putting stuff in different places every time I go down to the kitchen. It'd be in one place this week and a different place that week. So I didn't get to put no honey in my tea. Where's the honey at?
The honey is in the place that I always have it. It being the season and thing.
Well, I couldn't find no honey this morning.
Well, it's right there. I'm looking at it.
Okay.
But the almond milk, Micah hasn't been eating a lot of cereal and drinking a lot of almond milk lately, so I'm probably behind on that. So I don't use a lot of it anymore. I don't use milk, period.
Well, I need some almond milk.
Good morning, everybody. Bishop trying to make this show all about him. Y'all see how he is?
Don't be trying to dismiss.
Y'all see how he is, Good morning, everybody. You can buy some almond milk, babe. I don't have to be the only person to go to the grocery store.
I just need almond milk and honey. That's all. That's all. I ain't asking for much.
Good morning, everybody. Hey, sissies. Hi, everybody. Look, we got a lot to talk about today, Bishop.
What we got to talk about? This labor.
I'm on pins and needles.
We're supposed to take the day easy. It's Labor Day, right?
Yeah, I'm on pins and needles about this primary election tomorrow. Because if we don't come out and vote in better numbers than we have in the past, then it's a lot at stake. It's really a lot at stake. It's not. This is not a typical election.
Wait,
No,
wait, 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 wait. You're right about that, but I got a couple of bones to pick. See, so Lady Hightower. Um, I'm just, I'm just noticing how when you come on, people jump in talking about good morning, Lady Swan. That ain't said nothing to me.
That's
you
why
know,
they did that to you. They always do it to you on your show. You
Hey,
alone. They always
I'm
do that to
just,
you.
what I'm
So
saying is,
when I
uh,
come in,
Lady, Lady Hightower,
they
you
speak.
have
First of
known,
all, they're my sisters. They're
you
my
have,
sisters.
you have known me for 30 something years, even before you knew who Lady Swan was. You got to speak to the bishop too. Now, y'all don't
I
be acting like she the
I
only one here.
know you not tripping because my friends are speaking to
I'm
me.
just saying. I'm just saying.
What is
Uh,
wrong with you?
I'm just saying. Um, I tried organic blue. No, I haven't. It's better than honey. Okay, well,
Healthier than honey. It's healthier than honey. Mhm.
okay, we'll have to try that.
Actually, you have because I've had some of that, and you thought it was honey. But it's smoother, it's lighter, than actual honey. So anyway, we have a lot to talk about. So can we get back on track here and stop talking about you and almond milk and honey?
Listen, you don't be telling me what to talk about.
Okay,
Anyway,
then go ahead and get it out your system.
I
Let's
got it out.
talk almond milk.
I might get it out again though.
Good morning, everybody. I don't know what's going on with Bishop. I know he ain't trying to get jealous because my friends are shouting me out and speaking to
Anyway,
on
get to the subject. Get
on
on the subject. Get on the sub. Talk about the subject. Remember,
all right. Well, what is the subject?
you go on. You want to talk about? You get off of this. Talk about the subject. Go on. Talk about the subject. Then don't be talking about me and my almond milk that
I was. Are
that
you
I
gonna
have on
interrupt
it.
me?
Anyway,
Anyway, good morning, y'all. Me and Bishop not fighting for real. Well, I'm not. Anyway, anyway, no, I'm really sitting on pins and needles about tomorrow's election. Of course, I don't think the early voting went too well. I did hear that some seniors wanted to early vote, but the fact that, and I didn't think about this until it was brought to my attention, the fact that you could only early vote at City Hall kind of presented a problem, like it wasn't other early voting places like throughout the city. And like I said, I didn't think about that until that was brought to my attention because some seniors did want to go and early vote. Because I believe that, some voting stations, might sometimes get a little crowded, maybe. But people out here in Springfield, and I hate to say it, but we do need to have this conversation. We haven't been voting very well, y'all. And it's so many messages, kind of attached to that. So we need to have a conversation about why we don't vote out here in our city when the city of Springfield is the city that pretty much represents the western part of the state. Of course, we know we have surrounding towns in other areas, but pretty much Springfield is the urban metroplex that politicians visit and come to, and certainly try to wake up voters. We don't have a voter registration problem here, Bishop, as you know. We have over 100,000 registered voters, people in good standing that can vote, but they don't. We don't. Even in 2020, which was remarkable because it had been years, even in 2020, we only got to, I believe it was 27% or close to 27%. It might have been a little under, might have been a little less than 27%. So, out of that 100,000 voters, 27,000 voted, which again, it had not, something like that had not happened in a very long time. I don't know if it ever happened, to be quite honest with you. But on average, the voting percentages out here are abysmal. Literally hundreds of people, or maybe a couple of thousand people have been moving the needle as far as making the decisions in all of our elections here in the city of Springfield. A couple of thousand, 2,500, 3,000. At one time, I believe I was like 6,000 or so. At one of the last elections, 6,000, a little over 6,000 people voted, in total. Ridiculous. What's happening? And then I also want to kind of pull out the church and being civically engaged. Like, what is it about the church? What prohibits us from becoming more engaged and understanding that there is politics involved in the prophetic? Why don't we understand that?
Let's see. Maybe this caller knows.
Yeah.
Good morning, caller.
Hello, Bishop. How you doing?
I'm good. You?
Good. This Mississippi. It's been a long time since I chatted.
I was thinking about you, Mississippi.
Hey, I've been working a lot, and we got this water crisis in our state.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I was listening earlier, man, but it's a shame when people try to say that you taking money from Republicans because you are being critical of what Democrat the party is doing.
Right.
What you said, it was 100% true. I mean, that's the only way you're gonna get these people to do something for you. You have to tell the truth. Of their shortcomings, and the Democratic Party does have a lot of shortcomings.
Mm-hmm.
When it comes to black folks, but they still want our vote.
Absolutely. And here's the thing, they also want to keep kicking the can down the road. What they continue to say to us is, you know what, we understand we didn't deliver this, we didn't deliver that, we didn't deliver the other, but just make sure you vote hard enough to keep us in office and give us a bigger majority the next time around, and then we'll get to you after the election. This is a consistent theme that they keep pushing. When Trump took office in 2016, they said, give us the House in 2018 and get to your agenda. We gave them the House in 2018. They never got to our agenda. They said, well, give us the House and the Senate and the presidency in 20 and we'll get to your agenda. We gave the House, the Senate, and the presidency in 20. And guess what? In the 2 years since then, they still haven't got to our agenda. Now they're saying, give us a bigger majority in 22. Yeah, give us a bigger majority in 22. We'll get to your agenda. We're tired of this.
Right. And you're doing the right thing to put pressure on the Democrat. Since the most time they get our vote. You know what I'm saying? So you're doing exactly the thing that needs to be done to expose them for their shortcomings. You see what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
Now you're not saying telling people to go vote Republican or Democrat.
Exactly.
All you doing is just saying what the matter of business is.
Yeah.
That they are neglecting black people. You see what I'm saying? They got an overall policy that they gonna plan, but we need some black issues to deal with. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir.
Just like the student loan did, the student loan forgiveness, that benefited across the board. But we need something specifically for black folks.
Well, here's my thing. I think every black person who has taken out student loans should have everything forgiven. Let's just put it like this: take that off of
reparations.
Bill, okay? Deduct that from what you owe me in reparations.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
That should be one of the ways that they hand out reparations. That should absolutely be one of the ways. You know, and tax relief. It's so many different ways other than a check, but you can give me my check too. But it's so many different ways, you know, that reparations can be distributed, you know, to descendants of slaves. You know, and you know, certainly, you know, reparations can be given. But Mississippi, I'm glad you called because I wanted to ask. It was actually in my notes to bring up what was going on in Mississippi concerning the water crisis. So, are you in that area? Is it
going on? Jackson, Mississippi is a majority, is 85% black, right?
Yes, sir.
And so they got a black man in Jackson, Mississippi, and a lot of the white people, they moved out, so they don't have the tax base that they had in prior years. And so the state don't want to put no money off in there, and the federal government is being reluctant. You see what I'm saying? The people down there, there's almost 200,000 people down there without water. Without running water, I think just like 3 weeks down there without running water.
Can't take a bath, can't wash their dishes, can't drink.
Kids ain't able to go to school because of the water crisis. People business, they can't run their business because the water crisis is sad. And it's the capital city of Mississippi.
You know, I said this.
85, like I said, it's 85% black, and it's what you would call environmental racism.
Right.
Because you know, without running water and stuff, this COVID virus and stuff, it's gonna spread.
I said this, and of course people say I was playing the race card, but I said what's happening in Jackson and what happened in Flint, as well, both majority black cities, is unconscionable, and that there's no way that a predominantly white city in America would go any significant amount of time without clean water.
Madison County on the other side of Jackson. If that was Madison County, which is majority white, they wouldn't be having that problem. When you got a Negro city, basically it's neglect Negroes.
Well, yeah, that's what I was about to say. So okay, so is this becoming a problem? Because actually we're a city, we're a small city, much smaller than Jackson, I believe. I'm certain. Much smaller than Jackson, Mississippi. However, we've been having some contamination problems in our water supply here in the city for a few years ourselves. So, you know, we could be the next city. I do know that there are other cities out there that haven't gotten the same kind of media attention with these water crises, if you will. But overall, I love what you said, what you bring it to the forefront. It's neglect at the end of the day. It's neglect.
I mean, if this was South Haven, any of these cities, I'm gonna give you an example. If it was South Haven, Lee County, and these cities where white cities are doing pretty good, this issue will be addressed overnight. You will see these federal Republicans coming down here. They will get something done. But since you got Lil Chuck way down there, his daddy was one of the strongest black leaders it was in the state of Mississippi. You know. And so they want Lil Chuckway to be a failure. He's doing all he can do, you know, for what? If you ain't got the money and the funds that you once had because of white flight, you're limited on what you can do. The federal government and the state government know that they need to help that young man to help Jackson do better. If you if you go to Jackson, Mississippi, right now it looks like a Beirut of Lebanon, like a third world country in certain parts of the city. And this is state capital.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
If you ride to Jackson, Mississippi, you may have to get a brand new axle. The road so bad down in that area, and that's the state capital. But the reason it's like that because it's a majority black city, 85% black.
So what kind of country do we live in?
I always enjoy you.
All right,
blessed, brother. Keep telling the truth.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you.
So, babe, what kind of country do we? This all ties into politics and the way that we strategize, and the way that we collectively vote, and certainly advocate for our communities.
I agree on just about everything you talk about. We need to talk more about paroles and computations in the state of Massachusetts, especially the representative sitting on the governor's council who's in charge of the parole board.
All right. Good morning, caller. I appreciate you for chiming in and agreeing with the First Lady. Go right ahead. Babe, continue.
I don't know where we are now.
You got lost.
Yeah, I did. I got lost. I mean, we kind
of the caller jumped in, but that's okay.
Okay, directions. I don't. Yeah.
Here, the bottom line is what Mississippi was saying. You can, if you look at, there's a pattern. The neglect of the infrastructure that caused the levees to break in New Orleans, predominantly black city. The neglect of the infrastructure in Jackson that has caused them now to be without water. The blatant neglect of what was happening with the water supply in Flint, a predominantly white city. And in Flint, it was so egregious that some of the elected officials and those in the know had already switched to purchasing tons of bottled water for themselves while still allowing the populace to drink the contaminated water. None of these things would have happened in predominantly white municipalities.
So, like I said, I had it in my notes to bring this up. So, now that Mississippi has brought it up, it was a little bit different from talking about, people of faith and politics and voting and why we don't vote as we have the potential of voting here in the area. But one of the things I wanted to say, and I haven't heard anybody talking about it, during this campaigning season, and certainly this election cycle. I haven't heard anybody talk about the water crisis right here in Springfield. We're experiencing a water crisis. It's very easy for us to trickle over and become the next Flint or the next Jackson, Mississippi. Quite frankly, like I said, we've been dealing with a higher level of contamination in our water supply for a few years now. We get letters every month, or every cycle, I should say. Every cycle basically stating, that we keep testing a little bit above, what we should be testing as far as parasites and, again, contamination in our water. We've been encouraged by specialists, by water specialists, agriculturalists, because I've gotten into the gardening and everything. We've been encouraged to put filters, an expensive filter, in our garden hoses and also in our pipes and structures, fixtures at home, so that we can, try to counter respond to the contaminants that are in the water here in Springfield. Nobody's talking about it. I don't know why, but that is an issue. And once again, if we're not doing anything about it, eventually it's going to trickle over and become a major problem where we can't drink the water at all, or we can't bathe in the water. And that's neglect. That's neglect. Most the city demographics, as you know, they're changing. A lot of black people are leaving Springfield, but they're moving to other states. White folks are leaving the city of Springfield and moving to, outskirts of the city, and maybe moving to other parts of the state. It's becoming more a city, more black and brown, certainly more brown than ever. Which again leads me back to, black and brown voters coming together, collectively voting, strategizing, putting in the right people to advocate, for what is right in our communities. Why aren't we doing that? And why aren't we talking about this important stuff like structure, like water, like environmental safety, environmental justice? Why are we not dealing with those things?
Yeah. And there are some groups who do deal with those things. Like I know Rise talks a lot about those issues, like when they were trying to um, bring that plant here that was going to put harm toxins in the air. They're the ones who spearheaded the campaign against that to defeat it, keep it from coming here, because they were going to place it right in 01109, so that the individuals who would be affected by the environmental toxins would be black and brown people who live in
Yeah, I
that
think they was gonna try to bring it right through Indian Orchard, if I'm not mistaken, the pipeline. They're gonna
So
try to bring it through Indian Orchard. So yeah, I mean, we have some advocates out there certainly to try to keep things like that from happening. But what I'm talking about is, why isn't the community more informed? And as a matter of fact, I believe that that's the reason why people, particularly in the black community and brown communities, and certainly black and brown communities of faith, I believe that that is a number one reason why they don't engage in voting, like they had a potential of doing so. And I think it's information. They don't have the information that they need to vote confidently. One of the things that I really appreciate about us as a ministry is that we don't only encourage the people under our leadership to vote, but we give them information so they feel informed, they feel educated about the process, and if they have any questions, they know they can come to us and ask us. Some of our seniors, for instance, they are committed voters, but they're seniors and they're not moving, and as active in the community as maybe they used to be back in the day. And so sometimes they forget names. They know they want to vote for Tanisha, for instance, but like, I'll get a call from a senior that says, remind me of what her name is, um, remind me of who I should vote for, or whatever the case may be. So you got that too, but it's nothing like an informed, confident voter. It's nothing like it. It's nothing like knowing the position that they are campaigning for, knowing what they want to do in the position, their vision or their priorities, um, you know, in that position, how they would work together with other uh, politicians or in those elected positions and roles to certainly, benefit our community. And like I said, that increases the confidence, and and that empowers the voter. Is nothing more powerful to see than an empowered voter that know what they're doing, know what they want to do, know that they are using their voice by using their vote to elevate their communities or do what's right by their communities. And I'm telling y'all, we gotta stay we gotta stay engaged, we gotta stay informed, and we gotta find those commonalities so that we can be collective, because there's power in coming together. There's power in unity. There's power in black and brown voting together, in those white folks that understand what's happening to black and brown communities, specifically right now in the day and time, what's happening specifically to black people and in the black community. And every single last one of these uh, offices that people are running for, from governor to lieutenant governor to secretary of state to attorney general to auditor, every single last one of those constitutional positions or offices, right? Every single last one of them, the state of black folk um, is on the line, and they have some power, to make some changes to either improve our quality of life or continue to do more of the same, the status quo, more of the same, more suppression, more oppression, more injustice.
Yeah, absolutely. Good morning to the grandbabies. There, Katura and Carmen are saying hi. So good morning to them. Um, Talk about this, babe.
Hope Fest is coming up Saturday, September 10th. It will be the finale of our convocation this year. Um, it's gonna be epic, y'all. I just think that we are bound to have a good time. Hope Fest this year is centered around a free vaccine clinic. So if you have not been vaccinated with COVID 1 or 2, or your booster 1 or 2, any resident here, you can come and get those vaccines for free. There also be other vaccines available, such as the flu shot, pertussis, tetanus, and a few others that I can't remember right now. But it's a free vaccine clinic that will be available from 2 to 4 p.m. on Saturday. The event starts at 1 p.m. We have tons of vendors coming. So, from retail vendors, food vendors are going to be there. I mean, we have some phenomenal people that are going to be with us on Saturday. We also have tons of entertainment coming through. Our son is going to come and perform. We have a whole list of other people. The songstress Vanessa Ford is going to be with us. The pastor J.P. Morgan is going to come through. The prodigal sons are going to come through. Pastor Burgess, Preacher Man, and the Singing Saints are coming through. So many different artists are coming through to be with us. But it doesn't stop there. We got spoken word artists coming through. We have, oh God, Lynette, Lynette Johnson, who is a powerhouse spoken word artist. I love her. She's coming through. We have Maurice Taylor. coming through. Just so many different things are happening, and we couldn't leave out two important things. We couldn't leave out the babies. So we have all kinds of games and activities that will be available for the children. So it's a family day. It's a family event. I tried to create a family event for Hope Fest, you know, a day to bring out your family, gather and gain more information about your community, how to get involved, how to be informed. Community-based organizations will be with us. Some institutions of higher learning will be with us as well. We have a gardening workshop that will be going on, facilitated by Queen Anna Muhammad herself. We also are doing something for the first time. It's going to become an annual presentation. We are giving out the Hope Award to an outstanding community leader. To an outstanding community leader. So that will be announced. That person will be surprised, but that will also be done on Saturday, September 10th. But we not only want to invite you to come out and fellowship with us at Hope Fest on Saturday, September 10th, we also want you to come out, if you will, and be with us during our convocation this week. I feel, and I really do feel this. I'm not trying to entertain you, but I really do feel revival in the air. Our city is in need of revival, of refreshing, and I really do believe that God is going to be with us on this week, each night starting tomorrow night, and like I said, it'll be the finale will be held on Saturday at Hope Fest 2022.
Be at Spring of Hope Church, Brother Moore. Everything will be happening at the Spring of Hope Church of God in Christ, 35 Alden Street, in Springfield. So, right there, Hope Fest will be right there outside, in the lot, and we're looking to have you there.
I also forgot to say this. We not only will have entertainment, a spoken word, and singing, but we also will have some of our political leaders to come through and to have words for the community as well. So, you know, we have that aspect happening as well at Hope Fest.
Yeah, come hear from those in the community, politicians and others who will be there. Um, they'll be addressing us at Hope Fest, and so hopefully you all will come through. 1 to 4, 1 to 4. Come through, get some food, grab something to eat, get a few balls to dunk the bishop. If you haven't been vaccinated, get your vaccination. There's a lot to do.
Mark is saying, hold on before you go on, Bishop. Mark is saying we need to talk about the parole board. I don't know what to say about the parole board. The only thing I could say, Mark, about the parole board is that we need to vote for the right person for the governor's council. We need to make sure that we're voting for the right person for the governor's council, because if I'm not mistaken, I believe the governor's council person, you know, has more influence on how the parole board is even made up, you know. And so the governor's council.
Actually, those persons, the persons on the parole board, are nominated by the governor himself.
Okay. So,
and
okay.
and it's the board, but the
Yes, Juanita.
the individuals on the parole board Now this is one of those boards and commissions that people really clamor for. These folks get about $90,000 a year on the parole board, um, and they are the ones who hear people who have parole hearings and determine whether or not um, they should be granted parole. It's a little different than the job of the governor's council when recommending pardons and commutations and those types of things. So it is an important board. Um,
Yeah,
but
but I'm just saying we don't have nothing to do with it. I'm talking about the voters.
well, we do in the sense that we elect the governor.
Okay, so that
Yeah,
that was what I was saying. We have to elect the right people, right, that have control over boards such as the parole board. We don't vote in the board. We don't elect them. So yeah. So anyway, and the governor's council has influence, right, over the parole board.
no,
Oh no, over they advise the governor, they make
they
recommendations.
they have influence over who the governor uh, gives pardons and commutations to.
Right. Okay, so that's it.
Not who gets paroled out of prison. That's the parole board.
Yeah. Okay. So pardons and commutations is the governor's council's recommendations, right? They just make recommendations to the governor.
Yeah.
Okay. And the parole board makes all the decisions about who gets paroled out of prison.
Yes.
Okay. So
Yes.
pardons and commutations, what's the difference?
So if I'm actively serving a prison sentence and say I assaulted you and I got 5 to 10 years and I'm eligible for parole after serving 3 years. So after 3 years, then I would have a hearing before the parole board, and parole board would listen to all of the evidence. It would listen to the prison folks, will say what kind of prisoner I was, if I was a model prisoner or not. It will see if I've been rehabilitated. It'll ask me if I have any remorse, those types of things. Then it'll listen um, to testimonies from say from you as a victim. It'll listen to your testimony to say, I don't agree that they should be paroled. They still pose a danger or a threat. Or listen to people who are saying we believe that they've been sufficiently rehabilitated. And then they make a decision on whether or not to grant parole for that person to be released from prison. Uh,
Okay.
so that's the parole board. Commutations and pardons are so a commutation is a person serving a sentence. I'm serving that same 5 to 10 for assaulting you. But then there's some evidence that comes up that says I wasn't actually the guy who did it. There's some DNA evidence or there's some other kind of thing. Then the governor can say, I'm going to commute the sentence and let the person go free. Um, Pardons are I've already served a sentence. I've already been sentenced and served time or done whatever, and I want to have it off my record. And the governor can make a decision. I'm going to pardon this person for this crime altogether. So those are the difference between the three.
Okay. All right. So thanks for that. So once again though, very important stuff. We gotta choose the right people. Listen, uh this is a big election, y'all. I can't, the primary is huge too. Because if we don't get the right people through the primary, basically, it's null and void for us, in the general election in November. I mean, it won't matter if we don't get the right people through. I was a little disappointed. I wanted to bring this up too. I was a little disappointed in Elizabeth Warren because she did not endorse Andrea Campbell. She endorsed the other woman. And so I was upset about that. And, I was a big supporter of Elizabeth Warren, but when she did that, it left a bad taste in my mouth. I would love to, have a conversation with her and ask her why, if instead of endorsing Shannon, she could have stayed out of it, but she didn't. So anyway, she's endorsed Shannon and not Andrea Campbell, and like I said, that's a little disappointing for me. But nevertheless, y'all, listen, we got to. I know we're not lazy. I know this is really about us being motivated and inspired, to use our right to vote. We got enough of us that we are registered already, so we have what we need to be able to go and vote. Um, I need us to do it. And like I said, if you don't know who to vote for, ask somebody who does. Okay? But I'm gonna go down my list. Okay, so for governor, I voted for Mora. For lieutenant governor, I voted for Lesser. For Secretary of State, I voted for Tanisha Sullivan. For Attorney General, I voted for Andrea Campbell. For Auditor, I voted for Chris Dempsey. For and I'm gonna get this mixed up. I forget what district it is, but I voted for Jake Oliveira.
That's
I
the seat
voted,
Eric Lesser currently has.
yes, that's the seat that Eric currently has. And after the forum, I was gonna vote for Jake anyway because I have a relationship with Jake. I know Jake. I know he's good people. And I know that we can talk and advocate, for our community, and he will, certainly advocate for our community to the best of his ability as well. But after the forum, I really, really really, 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 really voted for Jake. I don't need to, say more than that. But Jake, voted for Jake. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, that Orlando Ramos and certainly Senator Gomez, they were on, but I don't know. I don't know if they had a Democrat. I don't think they did. I don't think they had a Democratic. I don't think they had an opponent. I don't think so. But nevertheless, voted for them in their two respective seats as well. Um and am I missing something? Yeah, am I missing any seats? I don't think so. But we also need to remember I'm not in Ward 5, but totally 1000%. I know that's not a true percentage, but supporting the election of LeVar Click as well. Good brother. Nobody loves the city more than LeVar, except for people like us. Okay, we all love the city the same. So LeVar needs to be elected to represent Ward 5, the part of the city that he lives in. Nobody's going to advocate for better and want to see that part of the city do better or elevate it than LeVar. So yeah. So please, I can't beg you enough. Yes, we need to hold each other accountable. Yes, we need to hold those that we vote for accountable. That's why it's not just about going to vote, and submitting a ballot. It's about staying engaged so that we can hold them accountable. But also, they need our support. They need our support. They need our ideas. They need our resources, right? They need our volunteerism. They need our skills. So, like I said, voting is not just the submission of your ballot or going down to city hall or mailing in your ballot or going tomorrow to the voting booth or whatever it is. It's not that. It's ongoing. It's continual. You got to stay engaged. You got to stay informed and do whatever you need to do to stay motivated and empowered. Listen, y'all, this we're not watching TV. This is not a movie. What's happening in Jackson can very easily happen to us if we continue to disengage, if we continue to be unmotivated, if we continue not to advocate for our quality of lives. Can you imagine not being able to take a bath?
Well,
The water
sometimes,
out of your fountain?
sometimes I think our sons can.
I'm confused. What you say? What do you mean?
I said sometimes I think our sons can.
Oh, okay. But can you imagine not being able to put your baby in bath water? Not being able to, drink the water that's coming out of the fountain without getting sick and dying. We're basically
Yeah,
listen, y'all. It's happening right here. It's happening right here. It's happening right here. It's happening to us. We gotta stay involved. We gotta come together. We gotta focus on what we have in common. We gotta move away from the drama and the scandal, the controversy. And like I said, think about water. Think about structure. Me and my husband was talking. He was yesterday. He was talking about excise taxes, and how expensive it is, for different cars, that he has, or whatever the case may be. And then I basically was like, they got some nerve because they're not fixing our streets. It's potholes every 5 feet, It's like, so where is the excise taxes money going? So all of that kind of stuff, though, all of that comes from how we vote, using our voting power as power to advocate for us, to advocate for what is right, to improve our schools, to improve our hospitals, to improve our soil, which is really, really, really important. I had no idea how contaminated the soil was here in Springfield again until I started gardening. It's crazy. It's crazy. It's crazy how, we have dangerous soil. That's the reason why we have to do raised beds and we have to go out and buy soil to be imported into the city to have a healthy garden because our soil is poisoned. People don't know. So we need to get informed, we need to get empowered, and we need to, again, we need to, discuss these matters because, I mean, it may be gradual, it may be slow, but basically we are allowing the city and the state that we live in to, slowly kill us
Yeah.
because we're not voting and we're not advocating.
Let me, babe. Let me. I just want to play this while we're still on the kind of highlight this week. Our holy convocation. Y'all come check it out. I don't think we got sound. We're not rolling, are we? Huh? Well, maybe I won't be highlighted.
You need to change the music anyway.
I need to change the music.
Mm-hmm.
Why is that?
Because you can't be playing no Jay-Z, sound in the background of no church, no church event, no convocation.
First of all, what you know about Jay-Z?
Well, I knew it was something But it was my kids who told me.
Who,
And
who,
that's
to-
it.
who told you that?
Your son.
T-Man?
Yeah.
T-Man need to mind his business.
Micah knew too.
Huh?
Too. Micah knew too. So you need to change that music.
Why?
Cause no Jay-Z sample needs to be playing in the background of no convocation announcement.
Hey, listen. I don't see why not.
Most you be doing the most sometimes.
I be doing what I do. I make it do what it do when I do what I do. How about that? I've had Jay-Z samples playing in the background of my of me preaching.
That's you.
Does the message change?
I don't know. I don't even know if anybody listening.
Okay, but does the message change? That's the question. Mm-hmm. I don't think it does. But anyway, y'all, um, check us out this week, okay? It's going to be a great time, and we'd love to have you be a part. All right. So once again, don't forget we got the NAACP Freedom Fund coming up. bit.ly/104 Freedom Fund to purchase a ticket. Um, so that's coming up on October 27th. Put a pin in there and go ahead and do what you need to do. Then we've got convocation coming up this week, starting tomorrow, the 6th through the 9th. And then on the 10th, we've got our annual Hope Fest that's coming up. So a lot of
So
good stuff.
so I know we kind of been all over the place, everybody. So thank you for bearing with us. It's a lot on our minds, to be quite frank with you. When you plan these kinds of things, of course, you be all over the place because you want everything to go well and to be well. When you're serving your community, you want it to be done in the spirit of excellence. But I did want to leave you with some more of a praise report concerning my health. So I've lost a few more pounds. So 20 something pounds, around 23, 24 pounds I've lost. I have a long way to go, y'all. I had no idea how out of shape I was. I think I was in denial about it. Like I said, I didn't know I had gained so much weight. So I have not lost all of the weight that I gained during COVID yet. And to be quite honest with you, I think this is really important for me to say. My focus is not on me losing weight. My focus has been on me taking control back of my health. And I'm telling you right now, I am really starting to feel the difference. I can feel the difference in my joints. I can feel the difference in my energy level. I can feel the difference in my sleeping. Um, I think I got a chance to share with y'all because I thought it was more COVID related. That I battled with bad insomnia after my mom died, and then after I had COVID, and so I was sick for weeks. I was sick for weeks. Tested positive for weeks when I had got COVID, and so a lot of my brain freezes and a lot of my insomnia, I chalked it up to totally, being because of the COVID. But now that I'm sleeping better, feeling better when I wake up, a lot less joint pain, a lot less inflammation. Didn't know that that was one of the struggles I was having. I realized that it could have been from my increase of poor health habits and eating late, eating all the wrong things, eating processed foods, and not drinking enough water. I'm telling you, these small changes that I've made, and to me they're small. I cut out bread, I cut out rice, I cut out white potatoes. I still eat sweet potatoes from time to time. I cut out like white pasta, like the whites. Okay, and I don't mean to offend nobody out there. But I cut out the whites. All the whites. I don't even eat potato chips anymore. I haven't eaten potato chips. So all the whites. I still will eat my chocolate from time to time. It'll be dark chocolate though. It'll be like one of those kind bars. One of those kind bars which is high in protein, so it's like dark chocolate over almond. But anyway, I've lost, about 24 pounds. This health journey has become more of a joy than a struggle now. It's become more of a joy than a struggle now. So I just wanted to say to everybody, I know that if I can take the steps to get healthy, you can too. Because if I can say no to bread and butter, I'm telling y'all, if I can say no to bread and butter and fried rice, what is it? Yeah, shrimp fried rice and pasta Alfredo. What is it? Yeah, what is it called? Chicken Alfredo. If I could say no to those things, you can too. And I found out that we are worth it. We are worth, getting healthy. We are worth having a better or improved quality of life. So I just want to encourage everybody, eat more fruit, eat more vegetable, and gradually take away those processed foods because that's what's causing the diabetes is the processed foods. That's what's causing the diabetes. So drink more water, eat more fruit and vegetables, and be inspired and motivated to take better control of your health. And so I just wanted to end the show with that. I love you all, and let's do this together.
All right. All right, ladies and gentlemen and ladies, and all of you all, we're out of here. Listen, we'll see you all this week, and at the end of it, we'll see you all next week on Justice and Flow. Till the next time, God loves you. So do we. Deuces.